So Damian from New York, pronounce him, is calling in to wants to talk about nature worship. So Damian, you're on with Ian Harris and myself. What is it? What is it about nature worship that you wanted to mention?
Hi, yes. Also, thank you for having me on. I've been watching you guys for a little bit. Um, okay, I know you kind of like when people get to the point of things, so I'll jump right into it.
Sure.
So for me, I used to be very Christian, very like into it. And the thing that pushed me away from it was, truth be told, none of my prayers ever got answered.
Oh, they all got answered no.
So for okay,
God just fucking hates you.
Or NA, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I would believe that if I believed in it.
No, I'm just teasing. Go ahead, Damon.
So for a long time, it pushed me down kind of to the point where I no longer wanted to be here, and I kind of landed in nature worship, where that is the kind of thing that brought me peace, and less prayer answer, more just bringing my own self peace. And the entire reason for this call is because I've never kind of had it challenged in a way from a secular perspective. It's always been what you're doing is demon worship and all these terrible things, and just I wanted you guys' take on it because I respect you guys' opinion.
Wait, you're asking us to demolish your nature belief from a secular perspective?
And you still words you say a lot. If it can't stand up to scrutiny, well.
Cool. So, what is it that you worship?
So essentially, it's the moon, sun, and earth, where essentially, because you look at it and you go, hey, you can kind of see, hey, the more you kind of hang out with plants and talk with them due to carbon dioxide, they grow more and things like that. And the moon controls the ocean with gravitation. The sun is our main source of, heat.
What does your worship involve? Like, what does it mean for you to worship those things?
Mostly you go out in nature and just kind of hang out. It's very kind of hippie, if I'm honest.
If I go out, like I keep and breed a lot of reptiles, and on occasion I like to go out. I don't like I will not take wild caught animals, but I will sometimes relocate. Like tomorrow, I'm going to go relocate a coach whip that's bothering somebody near their house. I'll get it moved. But I like to just go on hikes on occasion and just look at nature. Am I worshiping nature when I do that, or is there something more to it before it would be worship?
And that's kind of what I'm called, because it brings me a spiritual peace, but I'm not quite sure if I'm just feeling peace by just being in nature.
Are you applying agency to any of these things? Like, that they have consciousness, or is it you just enjoy nature? I mean, because there are people who do believe that these things have direct effect on them, or that the sun is an entity or something like that. Or do you just enjoy nature? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And well, I do. Okay. I do believe that, because we know plants do have consciousness. When you talk to a plant, it can kind of hear you.
No, I don't know that.
Oh, sorry. I could have sworn I read that somewhere. I might be wrong about that.
There's plenty of claims about talking to plants and singing to plants and all these other things. That's separate from whether or not we can determine that they have consciousness. But that's just a subtle point. But let's just assume for a second that plants were absolutely conscious. Like we'll say cricket level of consciousness for every plant. I still don't understand what it means to worship them.
Okay, so essentially, like in what I practice, I believe that asking the moon for more guidance will help you have better dreams. Asking the sun to brighten up your day will help you have a better day.
Okay. So you ask the moon for guidance and you think you get different dreams, and you ask the sun for a better day and you get a better day, but not necessarily better with regard to weather, better like you just feel better or somebody's nicer to you
Yes.
because you asked the sun. Okay. Where's the
Yes.
evidence that that worshiping the moon gives you better dreams and it's because the moon did something?
That's the thing. I don't kind of have anything I can present. All of it's kind of personalized, which isn't good evidence. There's actually no evidence to really present.
I don't care if the evidence is personal. I'm saying at some point, like if I went and said, "Oh, great moon, please give me really good dreams tonight." And then that night, let's say I had good dreams. How do I prove that it was the moon that did it?
Mm. I see what I'm falling into. It's more causality doesn't equal. Yeah. Okay. That's
And
more
also,
of a perception.
every day, wouldn't you ask the sun every day to make your day better?
Yeah.
Does that mean you have no bad days?
Try to make a habit of it.
Forest doesn't have any bad days.
More when I make a habit of doing it, I tend to have a better day. And understand that, like I said, the primary reason why I'm calling is because any kind of pushback I've gotten to this has always been from theists saying it's demons, and honestly, I'm kind of tired of hearing that.
Well, I just got a text message. I'm not going to have to go rescue this coach whip tomorrow because somebody already took care of it and let it go somewhere. So that's what my phone beeping in the middle of the show was. Here's my thing, Damian. There's one thing to say, hey, I have this religion and this particular practice or worship, and it's about me respecting nature. And so I say nice things to the moon and I say nice things to the sun. And so when I evaluate someone telling me that, do I think that what they're doing is harmful? Probably not particularly harmful in most cases, but
Mm-hmm.
the line of thinking that occurs in your head that convinces you that talking to the moon will result in better dreams does not seem to be a valid and sound argument supported by evidence. It doesn't seem to be reasonable. It seems to be biased, confused, and ill-defined. And we could test it by having you ask the sun for a better day every day and then track on a scale of 1 to 10 how good your day is. And also do it on a scale of 1 to 10, like overall, but you could also check for your bias by saying, was today better than yesterday? Because if ever you have a day that wasn't as good, then either the sun decided not to do that, or we've got another bit of data that suggests the sun isn't really doing anything to make your day better. And so you can track that data, and until you do, you can't even show strong correlation. So why would you believe something where you can't even show strong correlation? It seems to me like you're wanting to maybe not throw out the possibility of magic or guidance from outside. And so because you can't get it in conventional religions, you'll just attribute it to the sun and the moon and hey, I'm not hurting anybody and I just want a better day and there can't be anything wrong with this. But the more you think it's working, if it's not actually working, the more likely it is you apply that same sort of thinking to other problems. And that's, to me, is where the harm comes in. If somebody wants to get naked and go out and dance in the woods and sing a song to the naiads and the dryads and the fairies and the earth and the moon and the sun, I don't care. I'll fucking take some shrooms and go out and get naked with you. But when it comes to saying this is I worship and this is what I think happens, I think you've drawn a causal connection where there isn't warrant for one yet. And since even the questions I asked early, like if I go out into nature, I do a lot of herping, when I can, Actually, that's not true. Let me rephrase that. I would like to do a lot of herping. Going out and looking for reptiles and stuff has just been ridiculously hot. But on the occasions when I go out and do it, I'm as close to nature as I'm going to get. I have great respect for nature. I work with conservation agencies, U.S. ARC for reptile keepers and other things. At what point does it become a religion? Let's say that I'm absolutely terrified. Let's say I'm a completely irrational atheist who does not want to be labeled with a religion of any kind. At what point does my interaction with nature become your religion?
That's a very good question, one that I actually don't have an answer for.
Can I just say, Damien, too? I think, to go off what Matt's saying here, too, I don't have any issue with you going out and enjoying nature. And if it makes you feel good, and that's all great. What I would say is examine, I think you need to examine why you feel you need to elevate it to another level of religiosity. Because to me, that's the danger, right? Is that then what's the next thing? If this doesn't work, then what is the next thing that you're going to get religious about? Or if the thinking or your mechanism behind your thinking hasn't changed and hasn't gotten more rational, then you're just going to fall into the same traps that you were with religion at some other point. And I feel like that's the danger. I don't think there's anything wrong with loving nature and being part of nature, but if it has to go to this other level, you're seeking something like the old X-Files, I want to believe. If you're seeking to believe and create something so that you have that supernatural wonder, then that's a red flag that it's going to present itself somewhere else because your way of thought hasn't changed. And I would just say enjoy that, but also see if you can find happiness or solace in not needing something outside of that, paranormal, something that's outside of reality or truly nature. If that makes sense. Like that's where I would say is your biggest issue, not the nature itself.
Yeah,
I definitely hear what you're saying, and this is why I'm really glad that I actually worked up the courage to call in, because both of you are giving really sound advice and stuff that I can definitely go out and put in the work for. So I appreciate this. And I'm thankful.
Yeah. Also, I'd recommend giving yourself a little bit of slack. You're finding out new things about yourself. You're exploring the world. You're changing. I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm not going to say, oh, this is a phase and you'll get no, fuck that. Maybe it's not a phase. Maybe this is, fundamentally who you are. The one thing that I'd caution you on is enjoy exploring and learning about reality. Exercise caution before you tie strongly beliefs about interactions in nature without evidence.
Got it.
But one thing is that, like, maybe there's some cool stuff in the talking to plants thing, and I might be misremembering. Ian might remember. I think I remember an episode of Penn and Teller's Bullshit that may have been about talking to plants, but where Penn yells at a dog, like, you're so beautiful, I fucking love you. He yells at the dog, but he's saying nice things. And then talks sweetly to the dog. Oh, you're just a miserable little mongrel, and we hate you, and we would cut you open and kill you, and whatever else. And that it's, the dog reacts to the tone. And there may be, one of the things that they did that was pretty good in the Bullshit series is, like, if they're testing Ouija boards, they'll just turn the thing upside down with everybody blinded or blindfolded and showing that this doesn't work as well. Yeah, just exercise caution before you start attributing agency or causality in any unidentifiable way with nature. And outside of that, I think all of us, whether we view it as a religion or not, should probably take more opportunities to interact with and appreciate nature, especially since we're likely to kill the fucking planet, where we might be the last couple of generations that can enjoy some aspects of this nature.
Yeah, I mean, if you call that spirituality, all of that.
Yeah, that's the problem for me. I have no
That's
idea what spirituality means, and everybody I
No.
ask has a different answer. But
Yeah, I think that's the issue. But people always go, "Oh, I'm spiritual here." I'm like, I just enjoy it.
yeah. Thanks so much, Damien. I wish you well. And if you get more insights into this, call us back.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you for all the advice. I'm definitely going to apply it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, David.
So here's the thing. We have one more call on the queue, but I'm going to put out a call here. If you're a theist and you actually want to defend God beliefs, there's somebody who keeps trying to call in just to present presuppositional apologetics. Let me explain this really quickly. Every single version of presuppositional apologetics, by its very nature, presupposes a God, the thing that we're potentially here to have you defend. It's not a defense of a God to presuppose a God. And I am completely disinterested and disinclined to spend time in analyzing arguments that presuppose God. They're all in nuts and bolts. They're the same. Hey, there must be some grounding for reality. Naturalism hasn't given us a grounding, but supernaturalism claims that there's a God that's the grounding, so I'm going to go with that, which is at best an abductive argument, but it's an abductive argument to something else that hasn't been proven. You might as well be saying the grounding for reality is reality creating pixies or fairies. Why not go with that one as your presupposition? Oh, there must be some grounding for logic. There must be some grounding for morality. There must be some grounding for mathematics. There must be some grounding for the laws of physics. And we don't seem to know what they are, so we'll presuppose that there's a God, because by defining God in such a way that it can be the panacea catch-all explanation for anything, we can stick it in anywhere. But you can't solve a mystery by appealing to another mystery, and you don't get to presuppose the very thing that we're trying to have a discussion and demonstrate. So don't bother calling me with presuppositional arguments. Just not going to happen. If you want to call in with evidential arguments, great. I'm here for it.
Hey, come on, man. We gotta promote that clip we all just watched.
Well, I'd rather not shill.
Okay, well, Daddy has a $2,000 a month Red Oak habit, and I am your production god, and you will shill when I tell you to shill. Dance for me, baby.
Go, God damn it. Why did my life come to this? Go to patreon.com/call-the-line and donate. God damn it.
This is what happens when we let live chatters write our scripts.